Hi everyone, here Shabbat Shalom on this fantastic Friday morning here in Bet Shemesh. It's absolutely buzzing, and what better place to share over some words within regards to Daf Pei here in Masechet Bava Kamma, friends. We are in. Friends, what's going on today? As you can see from my title, it's called Alarms and Crying. So what happens? There could be press situations in Am Yisrael where different plagues could occur. We could see that a hornet plague, a bees with the Deborahs, with all the kind of locusts. These have happened. Actually, it's no coincidence. We're in the Parashiot of Va'era and the bow, and we see one of the plagues, the 10 plagues that the Egyptians actually had inflicted upon themselves, was the plagues of was when there was a swarm of locusts that came, and which was very, very agitating for the Egyptians. So no coincidence within regards to that. But when will an alarm, when we say an alarm in the Gemara terminology, what do we mean? An alarm is when we blow a shofar. Shofar, especially if there's going to be a war or a battle or something, or different reasons, we would blow the shofar as an emergency situation in Israel. However, there's also the concept of cries. What is cries? Crying is also known as tefillah. It is also known as prayer. And this is one of the things that if we have a locust swarming that's happening, and many times throughout Jewish history we've seen that, or different animals can come to agitate Am Yisrael, or different bees, or whatever it might be. There could be a swarming of something, or different plagues that could come. We start crying, and when we say crying, we are referring to tefillah, to prayers. That's one of the things that we must be doing. We must be praying and beseeching Hashem for Hashem to help us in that stage in time. And in fact, it goes so far as saying that we do this even on Shabbat. We do some sort of tehillim and special tehillim at that point in time, whatever it might be. Also on the Shabbat. It could be also there's other things. We relate over inside the Torah that there was a hornet swarm. Also, had happened many of the different generations where hornets came and swarmed different areas. That's another reason why we would immediately have to worrying. And remember, these things, they can actually ruin tons of produce. It used to be, there was reported over times in Jewish history where local communities had to actually depart from specific areas because of these different swarms of these things. So we go and we start crying to Hashem. We beseech Hashem with tefillah so that this terrible situation must not stop or must end unequivocally. Especially many of the synagogues on Simchat Torah this year, we know that on the 7th of October they stopped and they beseeched Hashem with loads of different tefillot all over the world. They did this when the news came out of what was occurring in Israel, and that is the cries we have, the tefillah. It's so important that's a power that tefillah has. You can even do this on Shabbat itself, and that's what was done all throughout Jewish history. And that's important. Something bad is happening, something good is happening also. It's always a good idea to say Mizmor L'Todah to Hashem on the good situations, not talking about Shabbat per se, but when it's a bad situation, for sure, we have to come in and unequivocally beseech Hashem for just a salvation from all different sorrows that happen, and just to see blessings, a fountain of blessings inside this world. And one rabbi once said, why daven only when it's a bad situation coming? Why not pray when something is going regular? Why not pray when something is a good situation also? Why we have to wait? So many times the rabbi was saying that people come running to him only when something bad is happening. They're saying, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do? We can partly avoid that situation. Obviously there's a lot of Gezeirot out there, by just praying to Hashem, doing our best, and then anything that happens also, the cynic could argue, but wait, I'm praying so much to Hashem, and look at all this seemingly bad stuff is happening. Hashem is obviously not listening, the cynic could say, but no. The answer to that is it could be much worse if it wasn't for the prayers that the person had done. Our tefillot is like going inside a vessel, and Hashem is listening to every single thing. Sometimes He might not say yes to some of the tefillot that we're doing, because it might not be the best thing in the long term, but we do beseech, we do hope we're davening for the right things, and all tefillot is heard also. But in sincerity is also very